What if I told you that from the moment you were born, from a point even before your first breath, you have been in an unbroken dialogue with the universe? That every one of your thoughts is a silent vibration, every emotion a powerful signal, and every word from your mouth creates invisible waves, like a pebble dropped into a cosmic sea, and that the universe, without fail, answers you every single time. This idea might seem utopian, too distant at first, because most of us have been conditioned to see life as a series of random events, a web of chaos beyond our control, or the play of blind fate. We live trapped within the boundaries of our own minds, believing our thoughts are private and our feelings are transient. But the issue begins right here. Most of us aren't even aware of this continuous conversation. We ignore the signs. We dismiss the meaningful coincidences in our lives, those strange and inexplicable moments, as mere chance. And then we wonder why we are stuck in the same cycles, why we attract the same kind of people, or why some of our dreams never seem to come true. We are left with a silence where our unanswered prayers echoed, a feeling of disappointment, helplessness. Yet nothing is coincidental. No encounter is meaningless, no repeating pattern is without cause. The universe is never silent. It is only that we have forgotten its language. The great psychologist Carl Jung spoke of that deep layer he called the collective unconscious for a reason. He was referring to a dimension where we are all connected to humanity's shared memory and wisdom, far beyond our personal history. This dialogue arises from those very depths, beyond words, beyond the limits of logic, as a pure exchange of energy and intention. The universe is always listening, always answering, and continuously reflecting the energy you emit back to you like a mirror. The real issue is not whether the universe is listening to you, but whether you are listening to it. On this journey, we will set aside the cliches floating in the air and empty well wishes. I will give you 5 real, 5 practical, and 5 ancient keys to communicating consciously with the universe and receiving tangible answers. And remember, that first word is not a word as you know it. It is a feeling, a frequency, a vibration. This is the first and most fundamental secret of speaking with the universe. The universe does not speak the languages we know. Not Turkish, not English, nor any other tongue. The only language it understands is energy, the fundamental language of existence. Think about it for a moment. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're holding, the thoughts passing through your mind. Everything is, at the most fundamental level, energy vibrating at different speeds. This is not just a philosophical concept, nor is it a wish. This is the physics of the universe. This is why certain patterns repeat constantly in some people's lives. Relationships that always end the same way. Financial difficulties that never seem to be overcome. Familiar emotional cycles that suck one in like a vortex. People unconsciously play the same signal, the same broken record, over and over again. And the universe, with flawless precision, continues to reflect that signal back to them. If you constantly think people will disappoint you, life will never tire of providing proof to confirm this belief. If there is a constant whisper of inadequacy in the background of your mind, even your greatest achievements will feel meaningless. If you carry a fear of scarcity in your heart, even if abundance knocks on your door, you cannot let it in. The reason is not that life is unfair. The reason is that energy never lies. What you focus on expands. What you expect, you invite. What you deeply believe, you create. But this is precisely where most people go wrong. People think the universe responds to their words, their fleeting whims, or their conscious desires. But the universe does not understand language. It understands vibration. So the essential question is this: what are you truly broadcasting? Not what you think you are broadcasting, not what you wish to feel. What is that core energy vibrating in the essence of your being right now? Because until you change that, nothing changes. The moment you change it, everything transforms. Because, as a famous saying reminds us, you do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. And the universe is listening to you in silence every moment to hear who you are. So, if we understand this language, if we accept that the universe speaks in frequencies, how do we join this conversation? This is where the first two keys that open the doors to this ancient dialogue come into play. First key, not praying, but declaring. Most of us learned prayer as asking for things, begging, even bargaining. As if there were a power separate from us, far away, that would approve or reject our requests. We utter our prayers from a place of lack, helplessness, and a need for external intervention to change our lives. What we fail to realize is this: the energy with which you beg only reinforces your current problematic situation. When you beg for something, you confirm the fact that you do not have it. When you ask for a way out while in despair, you deepen the feeling of powerlessness. Remember, the universe hears not words, but energy. And the energy you are emitting is the energy of lack. True prayer is not about submitting a petition. It is an alignment. It is the act of bringing yourself into the same frequency as the reality you wish to create. The most powerful prayers are not those whispered in desperation, but those declared with unshakable certainty and surrender. They are not from those who plead for a miracle, but from those who accept that miracle as if it has already happened. This is giving thanks for having already received something, rather than asking for it. It is feeling every cell in your body working in perfect harmony, rather than begging for health. It is making your heart the very embodiment of love, rather than searching for love. This is the art of speaking from wholeness, not from lack. Because what you are seeking is already seeking you. All you have to do is meet it on the same frequency. And this brings us to the second key. Second key, not meditating, but listening. If prayer is speaking, then meditation is listening. It is the other half of the conversation. The universe constantly sends messages, signs, and guidance. But the minds of most of us are so noisy, our lives so hectic, that we cannot hear these whispers. We ask for a sign, but because of the endless anxiety monologues in our minds, we fail to recognize the sign appearing right beside us. We seek clarity, but the hum of our thoughts never allows that clarity to emerge. Meditation is not, as many believe, just an exercise for relaxation or stress reduction. It is the act of creating space for the answers to the questions you have asked. It is turning down the static noise, the parasite of daily life, to allow the universe's subtle and clear signal to reach you. When you silence that noise, when you sit calmly in that silence, when you let go of the effort to control every outcome, you give yourself permission to be guided. The answers do not come to you in words. They come as a state of knowing. They come as a sudden lightning bolt in your mind, a perspective shift that changes everything. They come as unexpected inspiration, a solution, that indescribable peace that fills you. If you have felt that your prayers went unanswered, that meditation didn't work, that the universe remained silent towards you, the truth is actually very simple. You were not in the conversation. You were talking without listening, wanting without allowing, searching without being in the now enough to realize that the answers were already there. When we learn to listen and state our intention as a declaration, we step into one of the most creative and magical phases of our dialogue with the universe. Third key, visualization. Our mind is not just a chest storing memories or a factory producing thoughts. Our mind is a rehearsal room where previews of reality are made. Every image you hold, every scene you play over and over, every future fantasy you build. These are not just empty fantasies. They are some of the clearest instructions you send to the universe. The universe not only hears your words, it also watches that film constantly running in your mind. And whether you are aware of it or not, that film shapes the life you experience, scene by scene. Most people don't understand the power of visualization, because they see it as a passive act, a kind of daydreaming, dreaming of things we hope will happen. But true visualization is an active act. It is an energetic process that reshapes reality from the inside out. When you visualize vividly, you don't just think of something. You experience it before it has even manifested in the physical world. And this is a reality that science also acknowledges. Your brain does not know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a genuinely lived one. Countless neurological studies have shown that when you imagine something with great richness of detail, the same regions of your brain light up as if you were actually performing that action. This is why elite athletes do mental rehearsals before competitions. This is why successful entrepreneurs visualize their goals as if they have already been achieved. Because when fully engaged, the mind begins to influence the body, the emotions, and ultimately, external reality. But visualization is not just about seeing. The real secret lies in the feeling that accompanies the image. The stronger the emotion, the stronger the signal you send to the universe. Imagining yourself successful is not enough. You must feel the excitement, pride, and satisfaction that success brings. Picturing love in your life is not enough. You must feel the warmth, trust, and presence of that love in your entire being. This is where most people go wrong. They visualize what they want, but continue to carry the energy of doubt, fear, or unworthiness. They see the dream, but do not feel the way that dream feels. And remember, the universe responds not to what you want, but to what you embody. If you want proof that visualization works, look at the times you used it unconsciously in the opposite direction. Think of the times you played out the worst-case scenarios in your mind over and over, imagined how everything could go wrong, and felt that fear as if it were already real. How many of those fears you imagined somehow materialized? This was not a coincidence. It was unintentional creation, visualization working in reverse. You are already visualizing every day, every moment. If you knew that every mental image was a seed planted in the fabric of reality, you would be much more careful about what you focus on. You would begin to see visualization not as a passive daydream, but as a direct message sent to the universe. And when you combine clarity, emotion, and repetition, you don't just imagine the future. You begin to create it. After planting the seeds of a new reality in our mind and carrying its feeling in our heart, we come to two powerful steps that will seal our dialogue with the universe and manifest it in the physical world. The fourth and fifth keys are the keys of those who choose not just to want, but to be. Fourth key, not affirmations, but reprogramming. Many of us have heard of affirmations, the idea of repeating positive sentences to make a request from the universe. Like, I am successful, I am rich, I am loved. But many of us have tried this and been disappointed. Why? Because the words themselves are not magical. The real power is what those words do in the deepest layers of our mind. And if you don't change the beliefs operating in your subconscious, no matter how many words you repeat, your reality will not change. Your subconscious is the operating system of your life. It has been programmed from the moment you were born by your family, your culture, and the experiences that shaped you. It governs your thoughts, your habits, your automatic reactions, and ultimately, what you attract to yourself. If you were told as a child that money is hard to earn, that relationships are painful, or that you are not good enough, these messages did not just remain in your mind. They became part of your identity. And when a belief is accepted by the subconscious, it works in the background, affecting everything without you even being aware. This is why affirmations can work. They are like new codes written over these old and outdated programs. They reprogram the subconscious with new instructions. But they must be done correctly to work. You cannot parrot words that contradict your beliefs. If the words you say conflict with your deep-seated beliefs, your subconscious rejects them like a virus. This is why people who affirm without believing feel that nothing changes. They are saying one thing but believing something entirely different. And the subconscious always follows belief, more than words. The secret to making affirmations work is emotional alignment. It is not just saying the words, but feeling them as a truth. When you say, "I am worthy," don't just utter the words. Find a moment in your life, no matter how small, where you truly felt valuable. Anchor yourself to that feeling. Let it expand within you. Because the universe responds not to empty words, but to the vibration those words create within you. And this brings us to the most powerful, most tangible, most transformative key. Fifth key, not waiting, but being. This is the action that brings all the other keys together and gives them life. Not just wanting, imagining, or saying, but embodying the desired reality with your being and your actions in the present moment. You could call this conscious creation. This is understanding that the universe will not move until you take the first step. The universe reflects your level of certainty back to you. If you hesitate, if you doubt, if you keep questioning whether something will happen, the universe mirrors that uncertainty back to you. It does not punish you. It simply responds to the vibration you emit. Most people unconsciously sabotage their own creations. They set intentions, visualize their dreams, say their affirmations. But then they immediately return to living with the energy of lack, disappointment, and impatience. They check for signs every day, asking, "Where is it?" They don't realize that the very act of asking this question reinforces the belief that it is not here yet. Conscious creation is the difference between wanting and being. Instead of begging for a result, you begin to live as if it is already unfolding. Instead of constantly seeking proof, you act with the confidence that it is inevitable. Because the universe does not respond to the person you wish to be one day, but to the person you are right now. This is the real change. This is the master key. You are no longer a victim. You are no longer a beggar. You are the architect of your own reality, the master of your own destiny. You are no longer just waiting. You are becoming. When you use all these keys, when you state your intention as a declaration, when you learn to listen in the silence, when you play a new film in your mind, when you reprogram your subconscious with your words, and most importantly, when you start acting like the person you want to be, the universe begins to speak. But its language is not loud and spectacular as you might expect. Its answers are subtle whispers woven into the fabric of life. You can call them signs, you can call them coincidences, but they are much more than just chance. They are the echoes of the energy you sent out, returning to you. These echoes come as synchronicities, like the person you were just thinking of calling you. A sentence related to a problem you're trying to solve appearing from a stranger's mouth or a book page when you least expect it. Seeing the same numbers, the same symbols repeatedly throughout the day. The great thinker Carl Jung called these moments synchronicity. He said these were not meaningless coincidences, but rather a meaningful bridge established between our inner world and the outer world. It was the meaningful, a causal connection between a thought or feeling in our mind and an event in the external world. In other words, it was the universe winking at you, but most people miss these winks. They try to explain them with logic, label them as coincidence, or simply ignore them. And by doing so, they sever that sacred connection with the guidance they seek. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting the answers to come immediately and exactly in the way they imagine. But the universe does not work according to human calendars. It does not give you what you want when you want it. It gives you what you need when you are ready. Sometimes the answer is not a clear yes or no. Sometimes the answer is a delay. An event that slows you down, stops you, and forces you to reevaluate. And sometimes, the absence of an immediate answer is the answer itself. Because silence does not mean absence. Silence is space. It is the space given to you to listen more deeply, purify your energy, and align with what you truly want. If you truly want to hear the answers, One of the most important steps is to release the need to control. You cannot demand when, where, or how the environment will respond. You cannot manage the process at a micro level or force events to conform to your own timeline. Genuine communication with the universe requires surrender. It requires trust. It requires being open enough to know that the answer may come in a way you never expected. But it will always come exactly in the way you need it. Life is not testing you. It is answering you. When things start to get difficult after you set an intention, it doesn't mean you are being blocked. It means that because you asked for expansion, the universe is showing you the old patterns and fears that still need to be released. If you can maintain your alignment a little longer at that point, if you can stay in that knowing frequency a bit more, the transformation occurs because at the end of the day, the universe does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are, and when you transform into someone who trusts completely, surrenders fully, and aligns perfectly with the reality you desire, the universe has no choice but to reflect this new state of being back to you. Speaking with the universe is not about wanting something. It is about remembering what you are. Most people spend their lives seeking external validation. They wait for proof that the universe is listening, for permission to believe in their own power. Yet they fail to realize that the very act of waiting is what keeps them stuck. The universe does not take the first step. You do. It does not change your reality until you change yourself. When you embody certainty, when you act as if what you desire is already happening, when you align your actions, emotions, and energy with the future you want to create, the universe has no choice but to reorganize itself and conform to your new frequency. This is not a one-time enlightenment. It is a way of being. You cannot practice this for a week and expect your life to change. You live it. Like breathing, you make it a part of your being every day, every moment. This is not about hoping the universe is listening. It is about knowing that every step you take is already leading you where you need to go. Knowing that the energy you emit will always return to you. And knowing that you are never powerless, never lost, never disconnected from that power which is the source of everything. The universe doesn't just answer you. It moves with you. The moment you claim your role as a conscious creator, the moment you stop second-guessing, waiting, doubting, and fully step into your power, everything begins to unfold before your eyes exactly as it should. Not because you wanted it, but because you became it. If this video touched something in your heart, if what was described resonated within your soul, let us know you are with us on this journey by writing "I understand" in the comments. Because this is not an end. This is only the beginning of that most personal, deepest, and most powerful conversation between you and the universe. And we are grateful that you are part of this wonderful community rediscovering this ancient dialogue. Now, return to the silence and begin to listen. The universe is speaking to you. This channel is dedicated to producing content that helps expand your awareness. If you wish to join us on this journey and become part of our community, please remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Until the next video.